Most of all, fuck you!
She was talking all around about the way you left me flat. I don't care what the people say, I know when that time is there. One thing I do have no.
What's up, guys? It's me, the one, the only Heartbreaker here, and I was gonna make this review, you know, like be like in parts, talk about my experiences, talk about the actors and everything involved, and then I said, fuck that shit, let's do this the proper way, the fucking Heartbreaker way, and let's do this shit! Let's get off by saying this is the best interpretation of Joker I have ever fucking seen. It has the most badass scene with Joker. Now, if you think that scene where, oh, he has a fucking pencil and shoves it in a guy's fucking eye. If you think that is badass, bro, you haven't seen shit. Black Mask is so fed up with Red Hood's antics that he goes to free the Joker out of Arkham Asylum. And Joker, he's sitting there eating chips, but then he asks for a glass of water. It's like the shot glass. Smashes the glass of water, cuts a guy's throat, grabs the guy's gun, and shoots 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, and they keep aiming the gun at Black Mask. It's the most badass shit ever! In this movie, the start of it has a badass Joker moment too, because Joker is just beating the fuck out of Jason Todd, you know, just wham, wham, wham! Forehand or backhand. And I just fucking love it so much. The guy who plays Joker, he's John something or other. I'll have a picture of him. He plays Bender from Futurama and Jake from Adventure Time, and he's fucking one of my favorite voice actors. Whenever I hear him pop up, I'm just like, fuck yeah. And it's so awesome to see him play the Joker. He has like my favorite Joker laugh. It's kind of like this maniacal. It's kind of like a mix between like a very, very deep laugh and the Mark Hamill laugh, which I very much like. It's the way I laugh whenever I pretend to be the Joker at school, you know. And it's fucking awesome. I also love the Batman. The Batman in this one is Bruce Greenwood. He also plays Batman in Justice, the Young Justice TV show, and in Gotham by Gaslight, which I own right back there. And I just love this version of Batman because this version of Batman, you know, he's a version of Batman who you don't really want to fuck with, you know, like when he talks, people listen. And there are some moments where he's just whispering because that's all he needs to do is just when he talks, people listen. I also love that we get like cameos from like other superheroes like Nightwing and Amazo the robot. It's fucking awesome. I love how they destroy Mazo, where it's like first they put putty in his like explosive gel in his eyes. Then they shock him through the ears, and it feels so fucking terrible. It sucks, but it sucks to look at, but it's so fucking awesome. And like you just punch Amazo in the face, and then they just explode Amazo's head. You know, the putty thing that I was talking about earlier. And then they interrogate the people who are trying to take the Amazo robot by trying to drop the Amazo robot on the guy's head, and it's so fucking funny the way the guy reacts. And this is the first moment where we get introduced to the Red Hood persona, where he has no problem just killing those guys. You know, and then he starts running, and then Batman goes after him, and he's in this like blue car, and he puts the wheels up because Batman like shocked down onto it. Puts the wheels up and just keeps on going. And then he goes to the first part of Batman's Great Failure where he created the Joker, and this is the first time I actually saw the actual like Red Hood and Joker being born essentially. And yeah, I just love that moment, and he's like, memories. And let me just say, I love this version of Red Hood. It is my favorite version of Red Hood, and it's the version that I always want to see. Almost every version of Red Hood has somewhat this Red Hood in it, and whenever I read Red Hood comic books, I'm always reading it with this guy's voice. He's the guy from Supernatural and My Bloody Valentine, and I love him, and his voice is fucking awesome. And I just love how he just has this foreboding, like just badass type of feel whenever he speaks. And this has like my favorite moment in any animated movie ever, where he's like do you want to die? There's easier ways to kill yourself. And Red Hood's like, yeah, talking to the guy holding the AK-47. And he throws down heads of like all these guys as lieutenants, and they're just like bodies of heads and shit like that, and they're like puking, and it's fucking disgusting. And I just love it. The movie is PG-13, by the way, and there's like very bloody kills. You know, you don't really get to see it, but you see the blood aftermath. Yeah, it's fucking awesome. I love it. There's this also one scene when Red Hood's fighting like this Fantastic like 5, I think, Fantastic 4 like ripoffs, and I just love how he just like, and he's jumping around the place, and he's just like, nah, I'm just stalling. Batman comes in, and he's fighting all the people with Batman, and then the one guy who can shoot like lasers out of his like one eye goes up to Red Hood, and he takes him like this, and Red Hood's like, what, you gonna tase me? No, wait, the guy's like, what, you gonna tase me? And Red Hood's like, maybe that's what he has in mind. Red Hood grabs a taser and tases him right in the fucking eye, and his head fucking explodes! It's bloody and glorious. I love it. And this is the moment in the film where you truly do think that Jason Todd can never be redeemed. And that's the thing about Jason Todd, is he doesn't see the world as black and white like Batman. Batman sees the world as, you are a criminal, or you're not a criminal. And when you are a criminal, you can be reborn, essentially. And Red Hood says, yeah, that's good, but some criminals deserve to die. Like the Joker, who's like a fucking menace to society as a whole, he deserves to die, you know? And that's the main message. And in the comic books, Batman actually put Red Hood, Jason Todd, in Arkham Asylum as an alias. And Jason Todd was declared legally sane. And it is the most badass moment because, you know, like, Batman, if he went in there, he would be pronounced, like, insane because he's not the perfect figure for mental health as it is. But yeah, there's another character I like about this film, and it is Black Mask. Black Mask is one of my favorite villains. He's actually my third favorite DC villain. And this is the reason why, because every single time you see him, he's fucking yelling and doing all this shit. I love the first moment where he encounters Red Hood, and he's like, I want a whole lot of guys who are going to go over there and kill him. Not like dead. I want his head mounted on my wall kind of dead. And I just love that shit. I also love the look of Black Mask. It's my favorite look. There is a pretty funny moment where Black Mask looks at his chin, and he sees like the point, like the flash thing that Red Hood has on his rocket launcher. Red Hood just goes like this, and then he starts running. It's funny, but the way I imagine that scene is Black Mask is actually looking at his reflection, because he has like this giant place where he can see the entire, you know, city of Gotham, and it's fucking awesome. I love it. And yeah, you also get Ra's al Ghul, which is fucking awesome. I love Ra's al Ghul in this one. Ra's al Ghul is actually like a true and honest hero in this movie. Like, he wants to give Jason Todd back to the Batman because he feels bad because the Joker killed Red Hood, you know? And I think that's a lot cooler than him. My favorite version of Red Hood coming back is just him, you know, just coming out of the fucking grave and shit. But I think the most realistic, as you can get realistic in comics, but the most realistic version of it definitely comes from the Rebirth, where Talia al Ghul like resurrects him, and this movie kind of combines the two, you know. But I just love this movie, guys. This movie is definitely one of my favorite films of all time. I gotta say, it is my favorite film of all time. It has my favorite character in all of fiction, Red Hood. It has one of my favorite actors, which is the guy who plays Red Hood. It has my favorite Batman. It has my favorite Joker. This movie is the best animated DC film ever made, and it's one of the best films ever made, in my opinion. I cannot find a single thing wrong with this movie other than a bit of bad writing with Batman's character. Well, let me get into this, Because this is a problem with every fucking Batman story. And that is, Batman's one kill roll makes no fucking sense because he says, if I allow myself to cross that line, I won't come back. And it's like, motherfucker, Red Hood came back multiple fucking times. Hell, you let him wear the bat symbol in Rebirth, motherfucker. And he's killed more people than probably fucking Two-Face has. You're a fucking hypocrite. And yes, it would have made more sense that Batman was just afraid of death in general. So that's why he doesn't kill, because he just doesn't like the feeling of death, you know, but that's just a small problem I have. Another problem I have is, now this isn't a problem for me, but it's a problem it was pointed out to me. Now, I don't find this a problem, but in the flashback scenes of Red Hood, you know, like taking out villains and crooks, he shatters a guy's collarbone. And he goes into shock and not allowed to talk. Batman reprimands Jason Todd for shattering this guy's collarbone, even though Batman has done a lot fucking worse to a lot less villains. And it's kind of funny to me, but you know, the story to the story. But yeah, guys, I fucking love this film. I've already went over this is like my favorite film of all time. And I'm so happy I got to review it for you guys. I gotta get going. Talk to you all later. And I give this film, of course, a 4 out of 4. Get 2 VCRs and double tape it. Woo!